Apex Legends has been out for 2 weeks now, and since its release, Respawn announced it's picked up over 25 million players. Just an incredible number in such a small amount of time. And for your information, it took Fortnite around 60 days to hit that number. And with Apex being enjoyed by everyone hours on end, players are already hungry for more information on new content. But what will that be? Well, to start with, details have emerged of 2 new legends that are potentially being added to the game, and do take this with a pinch of salt as it's from an unofficial source, but it seems legit. Octane and Watson are apparently the names of the next 2 playable characters being added to the game, thanks to a news post from Apex Leaks. They found data in the game referring to their abilities too. Octane has a stim pack of some delineation. If we're talking Titanfall universe, this could be a quick burst of speed or health. There were even references to wall running here too, so potentially this legend could be an old pilot who still retains some of their abilities. Imagine if they had wall run as a passive and then stim as an ability, and then maybe even something as crazy as a smart pistol with 3 bullets as their ultimate. Perhaps that would be a bit too much power. Watson, on the other hand, not much there, but there were signs pointing to some kind of Tesla trap. I'd guess this was an ability to put down charges of electricity similar to caustic's gas, but if you trigger them, they would cause damage and a massive slow effect. We shall see. Info was dug up about 2 new guns that might be added to the game soon as well, the Havoc and the L-Star. The Havoc is an energy rifle, and from the attachments available, it seems that it will be single or burst fire to begin with the option of attaching the turbocharger to make it full auto, coming in with 18 body and 36 headshot damage. The L-Star, on the other hand, is a gun from previous Titanfall games and looks like it will pack a serious punch in Apex with a 720 RPM and 21 body and 42 headshot damage. Pretty dangerous, that one. In fact, you can see Bloodhound holding it in the Apex Legends title screen. Cheeky that one, Respawn hit it right in our faces. Data on new game modes was discovered too, referencing solos, duos and a survival mode, which apparently has crowds cheering and roaring based on what's happening in the game. Not sure how that would work. NPCs of some kind, I don't know. This kind of data though is sometimes unreliable, and it could be leftover code from previous games or features that have been dropped. So as I said at the start, take this with a pinch of salt. I think it's pretty safe to say though that solos and duos must arrive for Apex soon. Respawn, please. Moving on, whilst we're on the topic of Respawn, they recently created a post on Reddit that detailed some future plans for the game. Battle Pass is coming soon, TM, March is the word on the street, and we only have a small overview of what it contains so far. They also mentioned that they're working closely with Nvidia to see if they can fix some of the crashing that a lot of players on RTX graphics cards have been having, and this has been a real problem for me personally, especially when there's no reconnect option in the game. If it crashes, it usually gives me a DirectX debug error of some kind, but I've had an error before where it told me that the graphics card had physically been removed from the system. So I'm there thinking, well, I'm pretty sure that my graphics card is still in the PC. How could you display this message if I'd have removed it, and why would I do that anyway? Kind of weird, and I've tried several of the new drivers so far to no avail. I'm using a 2080 Ti, and the only drivers that don't crash for me are the November ones, which are 416.94. I'll link them below. And that's a shame because they're so old now, and when I want to play newer games like Anthem and Metro, I get way better performance on the up-to-date drivers, so I'm constantly having to switch between them if I don't want to crash when I play Apex. It's a pain, but they did say in this post that they are working on it, so I hope that a driver will come soon. Fingers crossed it's a good one. In that same post, they mentioned that so far 16,000 cheaters have been banned. Yikes. Don't cheat, guys, it's not cool. And they will also be creating regular developer live streams from the studio very soon, where they'll be dropping news, updates and talking everything in between. Sounds good to me. I think it's really important for Respawn to start doing live streams and building up a community and putting some faces to the game rather than just on Reddit or on Twitter accounts. Moving on, netcode, that dreaded word, hit reg. Have you noticed any problems with this? I was told back at the LA Capture event that the tick rate of the servers on launch would be 20, and this raised some concerns for me, which I mentioned in a couple of my early videos on this game. Now though, a content creator called Battle Nonsense, who I'm sure many of you have heard of from the Battlefield community, has created his own netcode breakdown video, which I will link down in the description below, and it's excellent work like it always is from Chris, and he concluded that it is indeed a 20 tick rate on the server. However, at times some of his tests indicated a higher rate than that, but because of the vast amount of data being sent and received, everything is being broken down inefficiently, leading to a subpar netcode experience overall.
Player movement has slightly less delay than gunfire, but it is still a lot more delayed than damage. Compared to other games, Apex Legends has a really big problem when it comes to the network delay. Not only are the average delays worse than what I measured in Call of Duty Blackout, there were always at least 2 or 3 extremely long delays in every test run. Those were those longest delays with 178, 250 and 220 milliseconds, at a ping of just 24 milliseconds to the game server.
It's a great video, I'd advise watching it, and it shows that high ping players might have an advantage over you in certain situations and could hit you behind cover because of the way that the lag compensation has been implemented. It's happened to me a few times, 100%. Now I'm sure that Respawn have seen this video and are working on tightening up their netcode. I hope that they're aiming for a stable 60, and I've got no doubt that they'll attend to this as soon as possible, as arguably it's the most important technical component of the game. Now for all of you Pathfinder mains out there, there's potentially an awesome skin crossover on the way. I'm sure plenty of you guys know who Chappie is, a robot who stars in his own movie, created by writer and director Neil Blomkamp. This dude is responsible for one of my favourite sci-fi movies of all time, District 9. If you haven't seen that film yet, what are you doing? Put everything down, go and watch it right now. He also made Chappie, and as you can see, he looks a lot like Pathfinder, and on Twitter, both Neil and Vince Zampella of Respawn fame were keen on the idea of getting a Chappie Pathfinder skin into the game. This would be awesome, but of course digital rights aren't as simple as saying okay then let's do this, and I'm sure that the movie studios, EA and Respawn would have to strike up some sort of a deal to make this happen. I wouldn't complain though, I think it'd be awesome to get a Chappie skin in the game, and maybe even the voice, who knows. But tell you what, go and watch District 9 if you haven't yet. Just do it, trust me, you won't regret it. Now then, relating to the footage that you've been seeing on the screen just now, the Wingman, do you think it's overpowered? If you're watching this and still listening, let me know down in the comments. Do you think the Wingman is OP or it's fine as it is? The reason I say this is that there's been a lot of discussion in the Apex community recently about the Wingman. Is it a bit too good? Well, that's the question. 45 damage for a body hit, 90 for a headshot, and then you can get the skull piercer and increase it even more. And what we're seeing, especially on PC, is a meta where the Wingman is absolutely the best gun in the game. And when you get the heavy extended mag for it, you can have up to 12 shots in it before you have to reload. And then you couple that with the insane maneuverability that you have with this gun and pretty decent hipfire. Put all of that together and some people think that it's a bit too good, and they don't want a meta to form where the go-to weapon is just always the Wingman, and forget all the SMGs and LMGs and sniper rifles because the Wingman will just do it better. It's really interesting because on console, not that I've played Apex on console much, I play on PC. I don't see this as much of a problem as it is on PC because I think the other weapons will be more viable there, as on PC it's much easier to aim. So perhaps there's an argument for Respawn to look at balancing the PC version and the console version differently, but with talk of crossplay coming, maybe that isn't a possibility. Who knows? But do you think it's too good? Let me know down below. Now, wrapping things up for today, I wanted to show you this clip because it's awesome that you can do this, whether it's intentional or not. And this is from the Reddit user IYB Saint, and they worked out that if you put a Lifeline drone down, everyone knows that you can push it a little bit, right? Well, did you know that you can throw Gibraltar's shield onto it and it attaches to it, and then you can push it along, and now you've got your own personal mobile bubble shield. just awesome. I don't know how useful this would actually be in a game, and I've not seen any legitimate uses of it yet that have been advantageous, but I just love that this works. It's beautiful. If it's intentional, then Respawn truly did think of everything, didn't they? With that said, I'm going to leave you there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one.